Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's July 13th, 2016. In this video, I want to talk about the big news today. Theresa May becoming the 76th Prime Minister for the United Kingdom. The first female since Margaret Thatcher, only the second woman in UK history. Just those two, both in recent history. What I'm going to show in this video is the parallels between Theresa May, Margaret Thatcher, and the death of Margaret Thatcher and the predetermined rigged election of President Hillary Clinton, who is very likely to be the 45th president. Very important post here. We're also going to talk about some other headlines in the media and revisit a topic that I discussed in the first video I put out today on the election of Theresa May. So here's Theresa May. She's the 76th Prime Minister. This is crucial because the name Margaret Thatcher in Gematria sums to 76. If you're new to my channel, I talk about Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, how it's used by the elites who are masonic, who use esoteric knowledge, meaning hidden knowledge, such as Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. Throughout the history of the United Kingdom, throughout the history of the United States of America, this language of Gematria has very much been in use. I'm about to release a book. I'm finishing it up. I'm behind schedule right now. My book starts from the beginning of the American Revolution and comes all the way up to present, showing how history has been scripted in this way by the numbers with the same numerical tributes. As we're going to talk about, 67, 76 special numbers to women. In this study of numerology, numbers that are reflections of each other are essentially a match. 67, 76. The woman who's becoming Prime Minister, Theresa May, she was born with her maiden name, Theresa Brazier, which has Gematria of 67, the reflection of 76, Theresa Brazier becoming the 76th Prime Minister. The word female in Jewish Gematria sums to 67. We're mostly going to talk about simple English Gematria and Pythagorean Gematria, but in this Jewish Gematria, there are related numbers that are significant. The word female in Jewish Gematria is 67, and on our calendar system, the Gregorian calendar, International Women's Day is March 8th, which is the 67th day of the year. Not a coincidence. The Freemasons in high places have built our language, built our history, and they've scripted it all according to the significance of numbers. Time magazine wrote this article when Hillary was 67. Hillary Clinton is the perfect age to be president. Hillary Clinton in Gematria matches the word perfect. And both Hillary Clinton and perfect have Gematria of 73. When Hillary Clinton finishes her first term as president, she will be 73 years old. But look at how they begin this article about the perfect age to be president. This is how it begins. At 67, Hillary Clinton is now a woman of a certain age. So much emphasis and worry are put on physical aging in women that the emotional maturity and freedom that can come at the time are given short shrift. So, saying she's the right woman because she's post-menopause, emphasizing the 67, and again, we're talking about how significant those numbers are. Margaret Thatcher was the 71st Prime Minister. Theresa May is the 76th. If you add those numbers together, it sums to 147. In numerology, the number 22 is the master builder number. In Gematria, master builder equals 147. The word woman equals 22. And these two women, the only women to be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, 71 and 76, summing to 147, connecting to master builder, connecting back to women. I don't think this is any coincidence. What we are living out in history, this scripting by the numbers, is the plotting of the New World Order, they're commonly called, which is a Masonic Zionist Jew world order. To the Jewish people, this language of gematria and numbers is most important. It's part of their Jewish mysticism known as Kabbalah. These numbers, very significant, and they use them in a lot of ways. If you follow my channel, I show just how often these numbers are used. On International Women's Day here in the United States, one of the headline stories in the morning was a mother who was shot in the back by her 4-year-old child. A completely fictitious story. I showed how the woman's name coded out to the date. But anyway, this is the way our media works. It's a mocking by the numbers. It's rigged elections by the numbers. So here's Hillary Clinton, the perfect age to be the next dictator installed in the United States. We don't live under a democracy. We live under fascism, a fascist dictatorship with a lot of illusion. Fascism is the merger of state and corporation. That's exactly what we have here. Industry and profit before people. We have fake elections, propaganda news. We live in a world of lies. We're ruled over from the cradle to the grave. The date of this article right here about Hillary Clinton being the perfect age, April 3rd, 2015. That's the 93rd day of the year. 93, a special number to the elite. It represents Saturn, the keeper of time. You know, this article talking about her being the right place at an age in time. That was also a date with 42 numerology. And 42 is another number connected to women. In simple English gematria, females 42, ladies 42, bitch is 42. 42 is coded into a lot of words that divide us, from the most hateful word for black Americans, the number that Jackie Robinson wore, to the word honky, and so many more. So many divisive words have this number 42 coded into it. And the reason why is because the Freemasons have crafted our language. Two of their main mottos are divide and conquer and order through chaos. And think about hateful terms and division. So last year, May 7th, 2015, when the UK had their elections, when David Cameron was re-elected, winning 330 seats, there was this big headline about this young woman being the youngest lawmaker since 1667, and she was a young woman, 67. The article about Hillary Clinton had come out just a month before this. I was already making videos documenting this. You can go back and watch my older videos talking about this, how the election's rigged for Hillary. So this new news with the revelations about Theresa May and Margaret Thatcher, they're just the latest entries in what I've been documenting since 2013. That's the frustration for me. You know, I just keep documenting the same pattern again and again, but new people always find my videos and then want to comment on how crazy this is. Sure, it is seemingly crazy that people are doing this, but I'm not crazy for exposing it. I'm exposing it so people can wake up to just how rigged the show is. Anyhow, the woman who won, her name in gematria sums to 87, just like the word Clinton. This election came on 5/7, the most powerful nation in the United Kingdom, England. England equals 57. But anyway, this election, coming just after the hype for Hillary when she just announced her candidacy for the presidency, I want to show you what's interesting about the death of Margaret Thatcher, Hillary Clinton, and the history of the Clinton dynasty. Margaret Thatcher died April 8th, 2013, at age 87. This is the only prime minister female of the United Kingdom before before Theresa May today. So she died at 87, this number connected to Clinton. What I notice is that from the date of her death to the date of the election is 187 weeks, a number used in the homicide code again and again. Also interesting, this number 187 is connected to homicide. However, the very first president of the United States is recognized, George Washington, a 33rd degree Mason. The name George Washington equals 187. So perhaps a presidential tribute. Plus the date of this was April 8th, which in the UK is written 8/4. United States of America equals 84, just like states in simple English gematria. 84, a very special number to this nation. Right now, the president is supposedly born on August 4th. His name Obama in Jewish gematria equals 84. If you read the George Orwell book, 1984, written at the end of World War II, it's about futuristic nation, much like the United States, much like the present-day UK, where the people are ruled over by screens that constantly deliver fear and propaganda and tell the people they rule over what to do. And the nation in 1984 is always at war, but the people don't know why. The Korean War needlessly started on George Orwell's birthday, the author of 1984. Another war by the numbers. Things I cover in my book. So anyway, her death, the date of it, it almost seems like a shout out to the United States of America. What else I notice about this date, 1311, both special numbers, is the 311 sequence. USA in letters to numbers breaks down to 311. Use the 21st letter, 2 plus 1 becomes 3. S is the 19th letter, 1 plus 9 becomes 10, 1 plus 0 becomes 1. A is the first letter, so U3, S1, A1, 311. Over in the UK, U is the 21st letter, 2 plus 1 is 3. K is the 11th letter. You don't have to reduce multiples of 11 in numerology. 11 and 22 and 33 are special. UK breaks down to 311, just like USA. And remember, UK equals 32, America equals 34, or excuse me, not 34. America equals 32, just like UK. And Independence Day, July 4th, 1776, that's a date with numerology of 32. Plus Independence Day equals 74, Masonic 74, Jewish 74, London 74. Only one state in the United States sums to 74. It's the 33rd state, 33, 74. Important numbers to the Freemasons. There's a reason Independence Day is July 4th. The word holiday equals 74. See my video on the 4th of July and Thanksgiving. Interesting information. Back to the death of Margaret Thatcher on April 8th, 2013. That's also a date with 45 numerology. And if Hillary becomes the next president, she'll be the 45th. Her husband, Bill Clinton, was the 42nd. She'll be the 45th. 42 plus 45 sums to 87. Hillary Clinton, born October 26, 1947. The word president equals 47. October's a special month. Margaret Thatcher was born in October. Theresa May is born in October. David Cameron was born in October. October is the only month with 33 gematria, and we'll talk about how 33 connects to all of those people listed that I just named. From Hillary's birthday to Inauguration Day for the 45th president to be is 87 days, just like the name Clinton. And with regards to deaths and the Clintons by the numbers, who this is right here, William Jefferson Blythe Jr., that's the biological father of William Jefferson Clinton. He was born William Jefferson Blythe Jr. to his father and mother. His father was found dead in the side of the road coming back from Chicago, traveling to Hope, Arkansas, where Bill Clinton's family's from. Found dead in the side of the road on a business trip on the date of May 17, 1946. William Jefferson Clinton was born William Jefferson Blythe. His mother would remarry after this death, and he would take on the Clinton name later in life when he went off to Ivy League school, where he crossed paths with George W. Bush, the president just after him, son of the president who came just before Clinton. All in the family. For those who follow my channel, I'm talking about how they keep quoting the number 235 this year in stories that hint of a political assassination. The 235th day of the year this year will be August 22nd. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first I want to focus on this date that he died, and then we'll talk about the significance of the gematria of where he died. But the date he died is a date with numerology of 33 and 87. The name Clinton the small way, 33. The big way, 87. Just like the name. And think about it. His biological father dies on this date. Later in life, he takes on the name Clinton, ends up becoming the president of the United States. You might even question, was his father even really a real person, or is Bill Clinton's entire identity possibly made up? Where the name Clinton traces back to are the original governors of New York, the fourth vice president of the United States, a powerful political family out of New York. Hillary was senator in New York. Bill Clinton, right when he became president, there was the 93 World Trade Center bombing by the numbers. Just some 87s in recent Hillary headlines. That date, May 17th, the date of his father's death, what else is interesting about it, which connects to today and Theresa May, May 17th is the 137th day of the year. And the number 137 is the 33rd prime. We talked about how Clinton equals 33. Check this out. The word authority is 137. Washington, D.C., where the federal government is, where Bill Clinton would eventually reside, 137. The meridian that cuts through Washington, D.C. is the 77th meridian, known as the American meridian. A lot of people in 2013 saw the Christine Lagarde speech at the IMF in Washington, D.C., talking about the number 7, giving a numerology lesson on the 77th meridian. So, May 17th, it's also the date that leaves 228 days left in the year. And here's why 228 is significant. United States of America equals 228, so does death. He was found dead on this date. In English gematria, which is just where you multiply 137 times 6, simple English gematria is where A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z is 26. In English gematria, you just multiply each value times 6. So anything with a gematria of 137 in simple English will equal 822 in English, which is the reflection of 228. And again, reflections are important of each other. So authority, 822, Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States of America, American meridian. Again, we were talking about this number in regards to the death of Bill Clinton's father, 235. The word sacrifice is 73. Hillary Clinton, 73. Perfect is 73. The perfect murder, maybe. With regards to 235, this year, because it's a leap year, August 22nd, 822 or 22/8, depending on how you write it, is the 235th day of the year. And there's this card game that came out in 1982. It's 34 years old this year. This card game has had cards that are illustrating things that have happened in real life, such as the destruction of the World Trade Centers, with both towers with holes in them, seemingly exactly how they were, the way we saw it on the news. There's been a lot of things in this card game that are very suspicious. This really stands out, 235, 666. They've been coding this number in a lot of ways this year. I was talking about this in news stories before I made the connection with the card game. As for the 666, the word prophecy has a connection to that. This card's called Hit and Run. Hit and Run has gematria 46. Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton's competitor, born in 46, just like the year that Bill Clinton's father was murdered, the same year Bill Clinton was born. The date this tombstone was put in Central Park was Easter Sunday, a date with 46 numerology as well. The Trump tombstone. I did a video on this following up when they found out who placed it there, and I showed how that was all coded out. This is all propaganda by the numbers as hints at what's to come for our future. The phrase Easter egg also for Easter Sunday has gematria of 87. And Easter Sunday this year was also the 87th day of the year, a very important point. Margaret Thatcher dead at 87, all these 87 connections. These people who rule over us, they are criminals, they are tyrants, they are horrible human beings. Again, 137 is the 33rd prime number. Washington, D.C., the federal headquarters. The word federal has gematria of 33, fitting for Washington, D.C., the relationship between 137 and 33. Look at the initials for Theresa May and Margaret Thatcher, the same initials, 20 plus 13, 33. This comes in the wake of the Brexit and Cameron resigning. Brexit 33, they said 33 million people voted in the UK. Cameron equals 33, Clinton 33, federal, order, secrecy, masonry. It's not hard to see what's going on, Freemasonry is obsessed with the number 33. The Freemason Lodge in Washington, D.C. has 33 pillars outside. Look at this headline. Look at how they mock us. How many boxes does it take to pack up Cameron's Downing Street home? It's number 10. The word 10 has gematria of 39, just like the name May. Theresa May moving into Downing Street. It's 39 books in the Old Testament that the Zionists go by. And if you haven't seen my work on 39 and the Bill of Rights and the establishment of the United States of America, please watch those videos. Learn the significance of these numbers, see how they show up. By understanding this knowledge, you can see who rules over us from the shadows. It's no secret. We know who runs the banks, we know who runs the media. So anyway, the article says that to pack up David Cameron's home, it took 330 boxes, 33, Cameron 33, October 33, Brexit 33, and then 30 rolls of tape and 3 rolls of bubble wrap, 30 plus 3, 33. You know, there's probably even a little code in here. BX kind of reminds me of Brexit, 64, the full gematria of Theresa Mary May. Israel equals 64, Zion 64, Thelema 64. There's probably even more coded into that if I thought about it. AVP, 1 plus 22 plus 16, 39, just like 10 equals 39, May equals 39. None of this stuff is a coincidence. This is really the length and the detail they go into to code the information that's presented to us. This is the truck moving out of 10 Downing Street. And here's some other headlines just in the media today. Supposedly 33 overdoses in Brooklyn, New York of synthetic marijuana. Interesting that the nickname for weed, Mary Jane, sums to 33. This was reported by the police. If you read the article, Brooklyn, New York, where it happened, has this gematria of 223. We'll touch on that in a second. Another headline, Thunder Bay police say 33-year-old man is dead after standoff in Kingsway Inn. If you follow my work, I show how these stories, they always code out with the date and so much more. Kingsway Inn, the same gematria as the numerology of the date this is happening. Thunder Bay has numbers coded into the recent Baton Rouge, Minnesota, and Dallas stories. With regards to that number 223, though, which we just saw for Brooklyn, New York, this is where I want to close out. David Cameron became prime minister on May 11th. Saturn equals 511. Freemasons equals 115. Numbers that connect to that date. Saturn is the keeper of time. From the date he became prime minister to the date he left office was 322 weeks and 1 day. His last full day on the job was 322 weeks on the nose. Theresa May elevated from her last position exactly 322 weeks later. 322, this number associated with the Masonic Order Skull and Bones, which puts people in high places from the presidential office to CEOs to international banking. Special numbers. The UK, the United States of America, they are military nations. Military-industrial complex equals 322. The reflection, Masonic 223. The Synagogue of Satan, the name for the Zionist Jews from the Bible, gematria of 223. A number that gets coded into wrongdoing all of the time. And if you've never heard of this number 223 or 322, let's watch this. This is from the 2004 election. The Democratic candidate challenging Bush, the sitting Republican, they were both members of the same secret society, Skull and Bones, that goes by the number 322. Check this out.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society. It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go
I'm
wild.
sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the rest.
Number 322?
First of all, he's not the nominee. And, look, I look
Are
forward.
you prepared to lose?
No, I'm not going to lose.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us? Not much, because it's a secret. Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction that he's taking the country. We can do a better job, and I intend to do it.
And we'll be watching. Be safe on the campaign trail. John Kerry, thanks for joining us. And we'll be right back.
In regards to John Kerry and George W. Bush both being in Skull and Bones, their alumni are called Bonesmen, which has gematria of 33, just like secrecy. They both said it's a secret. Just like Masonry, it's a Masonic order. Just like the word order itself. Just like federal. George W. Bush, the way he went with his name, just like Freemasonry, no coincidence. Masonic family, most elites are. So here's what I want to show you to illustrate the point of how scripted things are. George Bush is born July 6th. His birthday in 2001 was exactly a span of 68 days from September 11th. And why this is so suspicious is because he graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones in 1968. That's the same year 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. That's the same year World Trade Center construction began. That's the same year Space Odyssey 2001 was released. The same people controlling government, media, they're the same one making our movies. From 68 to 2001 is 33 years. From George W. Bush's birthday to September 11th, 68 days. 68 was a fateful year. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on April 4th. 44 and April 4th, sharing that special relationship. The word kill equals 44. The first president to die in office, William Henry Harrison, died on April 4th. Later that year, Bobby Kennedy would die on June 6th at 1:44 in the morning. If you write out 44, it sums to 144. If you write out April 4th, it sums to 144. If you write out Sagittarius, it sums to 144. Bobby Kennedy's brother, John F. Kennedy, died first day of Sagittarius, 11/22, in the middle of Dealey Plaza, named after a 33rd degree Mason. When you look at history and you see what's been done by the same numbers again and again, when you start to look at the world and you see what orders are out there, where they've been existing, what nations they've been ruling, it becomes clear who's doing this. You know, I don't know how I have any critics, honestly. These presentations, I don't know how anyone could chalk this up to coincidence. This knowledge has to spread so that we can stop the wrongdoing. We're all living under needless tyranny. We could all have higher quality of lives if the madness was stopped. Most of us slave to pay taxes to tyrants who just want to rule over us, keep us dumbed down, easily controlled. That's what our tax dollars pay for. Let's close out by watching George W. Bush dance at the Dallas Memorial for the supposedly fallen police officers. On June 12th, there was the Orlando shooting. That was George H.W. Bush's birthday, the father of George W. Bush. And then on July 6th, we got the stories about the 2 young black men being killed by police. That was on George H.W. Bush's birthday. Alton Sterling equals 67. Philando Castile equals 67. Blue Lives Matter equals 67. That bill was signed on a date with 67 numerology about protecting police from threats. All of this stuff is synced up propaganda. Anyhow, George W. Bush, his father, birthdays on the dates of recent tragedies, and here is George W. Bush at the memorial dancing. George W. Bush became president when I was 17 years old, and that really woke me up more than anything. That's why I was so awake when 9/11 happened, because I could not believe that I lived in a nation where a fucking retard was the president. I'm saying the same thing today that I was saying when I was 17. I still can't believe that a fucking retard, which is exactly what George W. Bush was the president of the United States. It's a real sign of what kind of nation we live in, how asleep we are. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Okay, you get the point. I saw that in real time and I could not believe it. It reminded me of what used to get me through the years of Bush being the president. Those were tough years for me. I was younger. I hadn't developed as thick a skin. I was constantly being belittled for speaking out against having an idiot as the president, the lies of September 11th. But what would always make me laugh is just listening to this idiot talk. And if you've never seen these videos put together called Bushisms, I'm telling you, search for some of these longer ones. I've never even seen this one before. Let's just see what's here. I'm sure it'll make us all laugh. And for those of us who are paying attention, we always need a laugh.
And so, in my State of the Union, or my speech to the nation, whatever you want to call it, speech to the nation. I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully. And America needs a military where our best and brightest are proud to serve and proud to stay. If you're a single mother with 2 children, which is the toughest job in America as far as I'm concerned, and you're working hard to put food on your family, rarely is the question asked, is our children learning? The docs are getting out of business. Too many OBGYNs aren't able to practice their love with women all across the country. See, I don't think you can be. There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. You fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Sadly, we're getting fooled again, Truth Seeker. All right, until next time.